just interested in the new development segments and what you've included and not included.
Okay.
A couple of them. I mean, is there a reason? There's two that are in particular, and I believe that might be North Coit Avenue, but because it's a considerable project, I'm wondering why it was not included. The CPC recently approved the large swath between basically Coit Avenue up towards the public housing developments in the north, approved for that development of about 10 lots. Is there, and half of the reason why it was approved was because also they were going to explore transit service, ferry service, and whatnot. It's basically the area north of the Socrates Park on the waterfront, where the watchtower is in those buildings. Is there a reason why that was not, as part of your study, why you did not include that, or why you're not looking to include that?
I know they approved the Hallett's.
Yeah, but
approved up by the Astoria houses.
But there's
a proposal that was supported by the community, whereby some of the vacant land on some of the parking lots on that development would be there would be a development of market rate with affordable units and major retail. I don't quite know what you did.
There's 10 units of there's 10 buildings that would be going within that, and it's a rezoning of that area as well. So that's my understanding. So that it was going to be basically a very huge. It's not highlighted here as basically a huge segment of the project study.
I will check into that, and I'll have to get back to you on.
And then I guess the other area to also think of is the addition of here on the island, three the other towers related have been given the option to build as well. I know it's not on city-controlled land, but at the same time, that does directly affect.
One is already one has started construction.
Those are as of right.
Right.
Yeah.
But as part of your, you've highlighted here, the new developments coming online that is particular of concern as to what the servicing needs are. Just
well, this doesn't. Let me be clear. This doesn't capture everything. There's obviously a lot of as of right development that is taking place, in Long Island City and Astoria in the inland areas. These are just those developments for which discretionary actions were required.
Okay.
So, in our analysis, all of the other background growth, the as-of-right stuff, that will be captured. I don't have a good answer for the north of the point that you mentioned. I'll have to get back to you on that. But anything that's happening as of right under existing zoning, that will be captured as well.
The three buildings here on the island, they're on REAC property, so they're not as of right is a little different on the REAC. The Silver Cup Studios was approved when I was still working there, so they haven't done a thing. Is that project still possible, or
We're told it is.
Well, I know we commission extended the permit because it lapsed, but I just wondering, is it really real? The other thing is that the building on Vernon, just a few blocks north of 36th Avenue, that site was also rezoned several years ago, and nothing has happened there. Is that?
I'll have to let you know.
Okay. That's, I think, the old Modell's way. The old Modell's way.
I'll get back to you now.
That's good. For the board members.
Okay. Sure. I got a couple questions. Regarding the ferry access, I'm sure that, extension of the East River Ferry is one of the things that might be studied, but also given, I guess, the short distance, between Roosevelt Island and Queens, I think there might be a market, for maybe some smaller ferries that could maybe provide more frequent service than the East River Ferry. Is that something that you guys are studying?
We're working closely. EBC is currently kind of reevaluating their whole East River Ferry service, so we're working closely with EBC, and nothing's been ruled in or ruled out yet.
Okay, great.
They're actually quite interested in providing service to the island.
Okay, great. My next question is regarding the bike share program. I believe it was last year when this community board passed a resolution supporting bike share on Roosevelt Island. Is that going to be a part of the study?
We were told that Roosevelt Island, RIOC, had done some kind of a bike share, at least a pilot. Is that?
They've done a pilot, I mean, Marty's here, so she could probably speak further, but as to the rollout of the city bike program, from what the resolution was passed in the Transportation Committee was, and from our understanding from the bike share program was that we would be included in the second and third waves, basically. But because of the fact that the adjustment has been made where they didn't do the bike share above, I think 63rd Street or so, because of economic reasons, this island's technically been pushed back, but we are included as part of the rollback, the second and third options of the placement of that.
Yeah, we were, again, we don't want to reinvent the wheel, so if there is, and I'm eager to hear from you, if there is bike share already on the island,
There isn't.
there's not.
What we did was a pilot before bike share
Mark, would
came. I'm sorry,
could you
Marcia
introduce yourself?
Smith, I'm on the REAC board. We did a bike sharing program that was not the same as the one that's in the city before the city started it. Then when we found out that the city was going to have one, we went to them and said, we don't want to sign up with these guys if you guys are doing it, because obviously we'd like people to be able to drop a bike off here and pick it up there and be part of the whole group. And they said, yes, absolutely, fine. We'll tell you when we're ready to go. Then when they were ready to go, they said, well, we're ready to go, but not with Roosevelt Island this time. But you're in the next wave. So that's what happened.
Yeah, my understanding is they did the first phase, and then there were plans for a second phase, and those plans were put on hold for financial reasons. My understanding now is that a lot of the equipment has been purchased, and the DOT is ready to engage those second phase communities about where to locate the infrastructure.
Okay.
So that is my understanding as to the next steps for bike share. I know bike share will be coming to Long Island City. I could check with our colleagues at DOT and find out where Roosevelt Island is in their game plan. If it's the second phase, the third phase, or...
Some of your questions, you have not been to REAC.
No.
REAC is the operating authority for practically all of the island, and some of your questions are best addressed to REAC. But I can tell you here that in terms of current plans to renovate the garage is now being renovated. I don't know if you've noticed when we came here, there was you had to park, some places you couldn't park in. The jurisdiction of the spiral ramp is REAC. So you really ought to talk to them.
Well, I know we've reached out. We just haven't been able to set a meeting yet.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, just one more for me. I think, Cornell might have, an idea of where, their students and their faculty might be living and, what modes of transportation they might be taking, it might be. I'm wondering if you guys are communicating with them routinely regarding your study and getting feedback.
Not routinely, but we are.
Okay.
Yes, Ellen.
Are you also looking into recreational access to the waterfront, or is it just transportation?
At this point, it's just transportation. I mean, recreation is a destination we want to serve. So from that point, we'll look at it as a destination and something that we should be providing access to.
So, second question then, on the Vernon Boulevard rezoning, you're talking about community space. Is that considered parkland? Is that what the community space, as opposed to retail?
I think it's a community facility is what that means, and I don't know that includes, community facility is usually not open space, right? It's,
Right.
Yeah, usually, educational or something like that.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank
So
you for
if we can have the board, so we can have the board members, I think we should discuss what our next actions would be. Because I think I would like to have a work group set up and then maybe have you all and work with us in the community to further finally tailor, what we think that we would want you to look at and what issues that arise, and maybe help answer some of the further questions, and then maybe come back and give a much clear presentation as to what the proposals maybe has to directly affect as well Island themselves.
Okay.
So I think that's a proposal I think we should make it.
Can we get those slides? Can we get the PowerPoint?
Sure, I could email it to,
Do you have them, they're not, it's not up on your web, on the GC.
this is not on the website yet, no.
Usually what we like to do is to have the slide presentation, you could forward it to the board office, and then it gets put on the board website.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna do a little changeover now, because I guess Cornell has to set up their stuff, right?